There is nothing that signals the peak of summer more than a gorgeous, overflowing bounty basket brought inside from the garden after a day of pruning, weeding, watering, and harvesting. It is the most beautiful sight to any gardener, proof that all of your hard work was worth it and full of opportunity and ideas and sweet, sweet, fresh, nutritious, beautiful produce. This is one of my harvest baskets from this weekend. When I have a little bit of extra time in the garden, I absolutely love to carefully pick the produce and arrange it in a way that just sparks joy. It's as simple as that. This doesn't serve any more function than just throwing it into a basket, except for the fact that it makes me so excited to garden and to eat fresh produce. It also makes a stunning centerpiece on our dining room table, or a fabulous gift to family, friends, neighbors, a housewarming gift, a party. This is my go-to present for any occasion, or it's my substitute for a vase full of flowers in the harvest months. So today I'm going to show you how I picked all of these vegetables, and I can show you just how easy it is to not only pick these, but arrange them in a way that's very special. So I'm starting out by picking my green beans. I use Trilogy beans from Johnny's. I love them because they have purple, white, and green beans, and they are incredibly prolific. These are bush beans, so you can really plant them in any container. They don't need a trellis to climb up. I have them in small terracotta pots. I have them in these small window boxes that I had left over from some flowers. I have a few in a root earth box. I found that they will grow pretty much anywhere as long as they have at least about 6 to 8 inches of soil. So this is a great little add-in vegetable that I like to sneak in when I have a little bit of extra room. I think these purple beans are just so incredibly fabulous. I love to throw one to my daughter to kind of munch on when we're in the garden, and it usually entertains her for 5 minutes or so. It gives me time to keep picking more beans. Anyone who grows green beans probably knows that there is a love-hate relationship with them because they are so prolific and they grow so quickly. I feel like every day I'm out in my garden picking green beans, and sometimes I'm running out of creative ideas for what to do with them. So if anybody has any favorite green bean recipes, please let me know. These are my bell peppers. I actually prefer them to wait until they're red before I harvest. I know it's tempting to pick them when they're green and beautiful, but they're just so much sweeter when they're red. So usually I wait till they get a little tie-dye. And these purple peppers are my absolute favorite item in the garden every year. I have to plant these purple bell peppers. When they also get ripe, they also turn this beautiful tie-dye color. And compared to those green bell peppers, they just really, really pop in the garden. So I get so excited about those purple bells every time I see them. Of course, they're a little bit sweeter than the greens as well, so that also makes them a favorite in my family. These are our lunchbox peppers. These are just sweet little miniature bells, perfect to pack in a lunchbox or for a quick snack. You can pick them at green, yellow, orange, red. There's a overripe orange one, or perfectly ripe, I should say, and a little bit underripe green one, but you can pick them at any stage. This is that tie-dyed purple bell. So when those bells start to ripen more, they turn this gorgeous tie-dyed orange, purpley yellow color that I am just in love with. Now tomatoes. It is the end of August, so I am overloaded with tomatoes. I hope you all have that same blessing because it is such a fun problem to have. It feels like every time I go out to my garden, there's more ripe tomatoes that I get to come up with some other fun idea of what to do with. These are the pink Berkeleys, which are really fun because they're also kind of tie-dyed. They start out like a green tie-dyed. That is a green Cherokee. It's a little tiny bit overripe, so it's a little more yellow. I like to pick them when they're a little bit more at that stage of that sneaky tomato you can see in the upper right where it's just starting to blush yellow. But they're really add a nice pop of color to tomato baskets and are so sweet and brightly acidic. This pink Berkeley, though, is hard to beat. It is just stunning. If that is not a caprese tomato, I don't know what is. That heirloom is everything I want in the summer, and it makes a beautiful addition to any harvest basket, any produce centerpiece, or any meal, really. So this is just fabulous, and I'm going to use this as inspiration to start. So when I make a harvest basket, the best way to do it is start with kind of your edges. So I like to start with things that add a little bit of vertical height, like the cucumbers in the back, some big staple pieces that are a little bit harder to throw in, so like these bell peppers. You really don't want it to be perfectly symmetrical. Typically, it looks better if it's a little bit asymmetrical. So I kind of pick some of my staple big pieces, and I sneak those in there first, and I like to arrange them in a way where there's pops of color everywhere. So I put green in the upper right, and then I put green in the upper left. You don't want to put all of the same color in one spot. And you do see me kind of move things around when I'm arranging this. It doesn't, where you put it once doesn't have to be where you keep it forever. But a little bit of vertical height is nice. So you just saw me sneak a little pepper underneath that tomato. Sometimes you want to add a little bit of lift to some of your veggies, so you can sneak things underneath it. Always, you want to do edible vegetables. I think that lunchbox peppers, habaneros, spicy peppers that are super prolific, but you can only eat so many of them, are really great for that. You don't want to put too many tomatoes on top of other tomatoes because they're very tender. Adding in these bright pops of orange habaneros. Again, now I have purple in the lower right, so I'm going to add purple in the lower left in the form of that gorgeous eggplant. And then this gorgeous purple bell pepper. Oh my gosh, I love that cute little squiggly pepper. I cannot wait to make fajitas out of that. And just kind of have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. You want to sneak in veggies wherever you can. The goal is, for me, when I build a basket, I don't want to see any of the underlying basket. That doesn't have to be your goal. You can design it however you want. But a good way to sneak things in there so that you don't see the basket is through flowers, because you can kind of add those in anywhere, or these really hot, spicy, long, skinny peppers. Those can kind of be snuck in everywhere. But go out to your flower garden, go to your landscaping. It doesn't have to be anything, fancy, but go pick what you have and arrange something really creative and beautiful with it. This to me is a form of creativity. My husband always asks me, why do you do this? Who are you doing this for? And I always say, I'm doing it for me. I love having this out on my dining room table. It really encourages me to eat healthy, enjoy the produce, to get creative and cook with it. It reminds me how lucky we are to have such an abundance of food and such an overflowing garden, and it makes me smile, and that's enough of a reason. So I really encourage you to go out to your garden, or if you don't garden, go to a farmer's market. Pick up a handful of things that just look special and inviting to you. Even if you're not exactly sure what you're going to do with it, you can still arrange these in your own home. I mean, get some gorgeous heirloom tomatoes, cherry tomatoes that are in abundance at the farmer's market. Set them out on a beautiful platter in a very pretty way, and I guarantee you will be more inclined to eat those tomatoes and that healthy produce than you would if it was just sitting in a bag or sitting in your fridge. Tomatoes you always want to keep out on the counter because they are so much more tender. Their texture is just so much more gentle and juicy and less acidic when they're left on the counter. And a lot of these veggies don't have to be refrigerated right away. Cucumbers usually we don't put in the refrigerator until it's been a couple of days, and so you'll see me kind of grab one of those when my daughter asks for a snack. I'll say, let's go pick out something from her harvest basket, and we'll chop up a cucumber. So this is a blast, a great way to incorporate more veggies into your diet, or a great gift for family and friends during peak garden season. I would love to see your garden baskets. Let's harvest them together. Like and subscribe.